The reason you feel lost is because you never took the time to understand why you do what you do, or if there's a better way for you to be doing it. And the only way for you to escape this trap of never feeling like you're going into the right direction is to take a step back, understand who you are, and what actions you should actually be taking. Being lost just means that people are looking outside and skipping truth. So whenever I felt lost in the past, it was literally because of that. And I got so annoyed by it that I thought, why do I end up over and over and over again in the exact same feeling? Because lost just means that something inside of you feels like it should feel different. It's not really about the problem that you feel lost and don't know like what happened to you. No, it's more like you start losing faith and trust in yourself. But there's an easy way to debunk that. And I'm going to explain that to you in this video. So let's start with the first most important info. Nobody, literally nobody, starts lost. You arrive there. And that's important to understand because the feeling of being lost isn't random. It's a process. And that's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time because you never begin lost, but you end there. And once you realize that you literally arrive there by yourself, it also means that you can almost track it back to the origin. And this is super important because I can tell you right now, even though you're not able to identify the right next step right now, you at least will be able to identify why you ended up here in first place, okay? So the feeling starts at a very early point in your past, an action step, an information, an expectation that you had about a specific feeling inside of you that if you, for some reason, become successful, you will feel like, I don't know what you imagined, but most of the time, feeling lost just means that something in your life should feel different. And this brings me to the second point, right? The core belief. Wherever you are right now, whatever your problem is right now, it doesn't matter. The core belief is the reason of you being lost in first place. It's number 2, okay? So whenever you are lost, even though you're doing the right things, that just means that over time, you created this assumption about an internal state inside of you that you expected to feel after you did specific actions in first place. And now it's on you right now to identify why you feel lost in step 2. Let me tell you one story about a guy that I used to work with. I am his mentor, and he's really big in business, right? I don't want to go into too much details, but let's say he's really big. You probably know him. He has several business. He is in sports, whatever. And he said to me, Chris, I feel lost, even though I accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish my entire life. And still, somehow, I feel lost. And I told him the exact same thing, that whenever you feel lost, it's because you look outside and you skip the truth. And to make that evident to you and to him, first we need to identify the core belief inside of yourself about the one thing that you thought in first place would feel different. And for him it was success, right? So his core belief about success was, once I become successful, I will feel happy. Everything will feel different. But the truth was that he didn't feel like that, not at all. It was the opposite. He felt misaligned. And the reason is that, again, we arrive at the feeling of being lost. We don't start there. That in the beginning, when you start doing the thing, whatever it is, especially in business, it is simple because you always know the next step because you don't have that many options on the table. So being lost always comes hand in hand with having a lot of opportunities and options on the table, right? This is why in the beginning, most people don't feel lost at all. because once you start your journey, it's easy to know what the next step looks like, right? But let's go through it. What does this mean in our world? We know that there is an origin and there is the core belief. We identified that the core belief in his case was his assumption about the feeling of success. And he felt lost, right? So what can we do about that? What are the steps you can do right now to understand the process on how to fix that? And I learned in my life that the feeling of being lost is always because of two causes. It's either because of a desire or because of a fulfillment, okay? One is related to an emotion, and the other one is related to action. Isn't this crazy? Let me tell you this. I learned that I felt lost. It was either because I wanted X, but I felt far away from it. So it's almost like I had a clear goal or emotion that I wanted, but my action seemed like they don't let me feel this way. And that drove me crazy. But on the opposite, I had the feeling that whatever I did in terms of my actions, it didn't bring me closer to my goal. And once you understand that, let me draw that for you, that your mind works like this. These are your action steps. Pretty easy. Actions lead like equal to a feeling, success. Here we go. I promise you, I will solve at least your core problem of feeling lost in this moment right now. Think about your problem right now. You say you feel lost? Cool, let's go through it. Most probably it's because you're not able to describe the problem in particular. And I show you how to do that. Tell me why you feel lost. Is it because you don't know the actions to feel this feeling? Or do you feel like I should feel this because I did all of that, but somehow I don't feel it? It is either this or it is this. And let me tell you one thing, if it's this, actions, if you lack the knowledge about the next step, that's pretty easy, because all you have to do is to find the right place to get the information. But let me tell you one thing, most of the time, we do what we have to do, but we don't feel the feeling that we want to feel. You don't feel successful, in his case it was the same, because he just copied someone else's path. So he did the exact steps, and somehow the world promised him to feel successful, but he didn't feel that way. How to solve that? Pretty simple. You are always, remember, the one who got you into the feeling of being lost in the first place, so you can get yourself out of that pretty easy. Just take the feeling that you want to accomplish and describe it in 3 words. For him it was process, speed, and quality. And I told him, cool, pick one of them, define 2 action steps, and go and watch if after you did those 2 steps, feel the way you want to feel. So if you want to feel like you do, I don't know, quality, or you would feel like you do speed in whatever you're doing, tell me if that's the case once you did the actions to it. And this is, I promise you, forever the solution to it, because first of all, you go into action. Second of all, you break your problem down, because most of the time the devil sits right here. People want to become successful or feel successful, but they never sat down to define what success means to them. They just copy someone else. Merry Christmas, you're a copycat. And I was too, by the way. It's not bad. And here's the thing. Sometimes we expect that something should be like faster. We want to feel like, hey, I did this, I did that. Why am I not successful now? Why is my deal not blowing up? Like, your expectations are in between your imagination and reality. And you can't fix that. I'm sorry, you can't fix that. But you can heal that in the way that you adjust your expectations a little bit to your desired outcome, okay? Sometimes everything it takes is time. Sometimes everything it takes is you being surrounded by the right people, because if your understanding of this process is messed up, and this is unfortunately the case with all the Most of the people online pretending that, hey, this part is easy, you can become successful like this. No, you can't. You fucking can't, because what happens is, if you copy someone else's success and they pretend it's easy, it's always that they create the feeling of you being disconnected from the truth, being disconnected from yourself. And nothing feels like it makes sense anymore. You familiar with that? Let me say that again. Nothing feels like it makes sense anymore. I felt like that a couple of times. And you know what? It was because of me expecting to feel like that because someone else told me this. You have no idea how many people are running through life being like perma-depressed purely because they think they should feel different about what they accomplished. But at one point in life, they realized that they already accomplished everything that they wanted to accomplish in the first place. And you can do an easy example. Think about yourself right now and go back 2 years, 3 years, and think about what you accomplished right now. And don't tell me that your past version, your younger self wouldn't be super proud about what you did. And even if that's not the case, this person would probably think about you in a different way than you do right now. So let's take a step back, zoom out, because being lost, or the feeling of being lost, is just you. You decided, or your mind, that for some reason you lost trust and faith in your next step. And that's okay. It is okay because we are humans. And this is the blueprint to get out of that. Because if you feel like you lost trust in yourself to get closer to success, then go to the deeper layer. Pick one of the 3 words, whatever success means to you, pick one of them. And don't take 5 action steps to get there, take 2 baby steps. And I promise you, you will feel like this. And it will be unique. And this is the difference between the next step and the right next step. Because think about it. Lost just means that people are looking outside, they're skipping the truth. And it's either the truth about the feeling, or they look outside about the process on how to get there. If you like this video, trust me, you will love this one. Go and check it out. See you there.